Alright, how's it going everybody? My name is Jerome and welcome to the channel. So today we have some interesting news. Alright, so there is a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh drama going on in this past few days. So we got like three main topics I want to talk about, but the first one we're going to start off with is the great debate in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is diverse good or is it bad? It all started basically with this tweet here from YuGiOh. Basically just commenting on a photo of some top 16 deck breakdown lists, and it says, "Too many decks, truly such a bad format at the moment." Now this sparked a lot of criticism, a lot of hate and stuff like that, and a lot of people were backing his tweet here. Even sparked the attention of some YouTubers. Mega Capital G is one of them. He made a video pretty much joining the side of the players that like diversity, right? He is completely against this whole notion that basically diversity needs to be out of the competitive scene of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it needs to be basically down to just 3 competitive decks, or maybe somewhere roughly around 3. It could be like 5 or so, but you know, as you can see, there's some people that are on YuGiOh's side. I don't know what the heck that was, but you know, and then you got people that disagree, people that are hating, say I very much disagree. You know, being able to attune yourself to playing against decks rather than just citing silver bullets for the 3 format relevant decks, making non-games does not make a bad format. You know, you have like all this different back and forth kind of criticism. You know, now if I had to choose which side I'm rather on, I think I'm rather on YuGiOh's side here. I do understand from a competitive side that the games that are just extremely diverse are just horrible and unplayable. A perfect example of this is basically, you know, you can compare this to like any other kind of games. And one of the games I like to compare it to is none other than Destiny 2. When I used to play Destiny 2 when it first came out, it was extremely competitive, right? There was only like 3 or 4 guns that were actually usable. There was only like basically 2 subclasses that were usable. There was only basically like 1 or 2, basically like 2 characters that were usable, that were good. So it basically made it very competitive when everyone was basically using one of the 3 best guns or one of the 2 best characters, one of the 2 best subclasses. But as the game kept developing, more and more stuff kept coming out, more and more changes, and the game got incredibly diverse to the point to where it is just complete and utter chaos right now. It is unplayable in my opinion, and I don't enjoy the game at all. I haven't even played it in like 2 years, but it's just not competitive. It was competitive for that first year, and after that it just became a shit show. So I think that Yu-Gi-Oh is on that path when it comes to its diversity. When it gets too diverse in a competitive scene, it is bad, right? Because I do see the argument where it's like, oh, you know, you can just find out how to play your deck, find the weakness of it, and side for just the weakness of it, and be better at playing against all the decks that are currently in the format. The problem is that it's just way too many of those decks. You can't prepare for all the random decks, right? You can only prepare for what you are think that's going to be there based off of the data and based off of, all the other stuff that people are playing, that's been playing at regionals or YCS, stuff like that. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to prepare for all these decks over the hundreds and hundreds of decks that we have in the game. It's just, you can't do that, right? And I think that diversity is good for game. I agree with both sides. I do see where diversity is great for the game, right? For the casual part of the game, it is great, right? For it to keep that alive, you're going to need diversity. If you have it just extremely competitive where only 3 decks live, obviously casual will die, and we're not going to really have that many players playing the game, which is foreshadowing something. But for the casuals to live, you need to have diversity. So how can you please both sides of the spectrum? I think the only way that you can reasonably do that is if you separate the two. You have a casual league and you have a competitive league. Now, how do you get them to separate it? Well, basically, in my opinion, I think for the casual league, it's basically what we have now. Just have a ban list that fits the casual needs. Don't make it to where there's 1, 2, 3, or 4 decks that are just great. Make it to where anything could win, possibly anything could win. You can still keep the prize loot to be the same, where you win mats, deck boxes, trophies, you know, Nintendo Switches, stuff like that. That's fine. But I think for the competitive scene, they should just try something completely different. Konami should probably, just to please the competitive scene, change the reward system, change the entry fee, and on top of that, change the list that they're allowed to use. Maybe make it to where they're only allowed to use like specifically like 3 certain decks, and Konami chooses those 3 decks or 5 decks or whatever, or make a proper ban list that makes it to where basically only 3 or 4 or 5 decks are just generically good in that certain kind of list, and then obviously shift it and change it up almost every month to 2 months, so then those players won't get bored. And the entry fee, I think, should increase past $25, obviously, probably even higher to like maybe somewhere around $50 to $75. Now I know that sounds ridiculous, but at the same time, the reward would be higher, where they're not getting playmats or deck boxes or Nintendo Switches. Instead, they're actually just getting straight up cash money. I think that is a great way of separating the two. So then competitive players have something actually worth grinding for rather than just a win-a-mat. And then for the casual players, they still can pay just the typical $25, stuff like that. And now they still can grind for their, you know, mats and their deck boxes, their trophies, Nintendo Switches. Because I do believe that if there was money behind it, the competitive players would just immediately go to that, and knowing that they're going to win, you know, thousands of dollars, and then they're actually making, you know, progress and making something from it, rather than just, you know, spending all this money to go to these events and winning a mat, winning a trophy, winning a Nintendo Switch, walking out of there making 0 money, you know, and it's just like, what was that all for? Bragging rights, probably? You know, so I think that to make it healthy, to please both, that would be the best route. Will that happen? Absolutely not. That's not going to happen whatsoever. But I do think that that's just a great way of separating the two. You can even look at all the other competitive games out there. A lot of the other competitive games have these two kind of different things, where they have a casual thing where you're playing for like no money and stuff like that, and the competitive scene is playing for money. I mean, video games, sports, you know, other kind of like board games and card games, all those do like a competitive scene where you win money. Casual, where you don't really play for money, you just play for like items and stuff. And I just think that's a great way of doing it. Now, the next topic is obviously the prices. Everyone is talking about this. The prices of Bonfire, man. $90. This is just a pre-sale. Do I think that this card is going to stay at $90? I don't think so. I think it's going to drop down somewhere between 40 to 60 bucks. It is an ultra rare, but you know, pre-sales are crazy, so everyone is talking about this. It's already sold out, so, you know, it says they only had 19, but they probably had way more than that. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's wrong. It says 19 for everything, but they're already sold out. I mean, people are buying these things left and right like hotcakes. I mean, this is insane. Yeah, a lot of people are seeing that, and they're saying, I'm done. I'm not buying this anymore. After, I think someone did the math and it came up to be about like $1,000 or a little bit over 1,000, or maybe a little bit under 1,000. That is ridiculous for a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. And today, I mean, it's insane. You know, I thought we were past this where Yu-Gi-Oh decks are going to cost over $1,000, but we're not, right? I mean, we're sitting here right now. We got the Wannets over $100, the SPs over $100, the Diabell Star going up to what? I don't even know. I think the last time I checked was like 30, but I think it was still increasing, so I don't even know how much it goes for now. I even saw Snake Eye Ash. It was like $1 or 20 something cents, and it was like worth barely nothing. Now it's like, I think, up to $6 for that card. It is insane how fast all these cards are just rising in price. Yeah, it is insane, and it's very, you know, it sucks because it's leading into the very last topic, which is basically people are quitting. People are quitting. Someone upon this video was recommended to me today, and I watched it. It's from a YouTuber, Giant Skyhawk. He likes playing Yu-Gi-Oh, obviously in the bio there. And yeah, he made a video saying, I'm quitting paper Yu-Gi-Oh until Konami meaningfully changes sets. So I watched it, and basically he was saying, hey, this card game is stupid expensive. He doesn't like how everything is like kind of short printed for the certain cards that obviously you're going to need. And yeah, like the sets are just kind of ridiculous with how they're managing it and stuff. And I 100% agree. I think that they need to change these sets dramatically. They should do something along the lines of what One Piece does, where they release the cards, in almost every kind of rarity. You have the commons, the rare, stuff like that. I think that for the cards that a lot of people really want and really need for the next best desk, like Bonfire or maybe the Populous, whatever it's called, ultimately it's going to be in the highest rarity of that set. So I think that they should still, make it in the highest rarity, but also make it in the next rarity down. Obviously it's going to be cheaper, but just have it in that highest rarity, more rare to pull, but then make it easily accessible for everyone else that doesn't want to spend that money to make their deck all like high rarity and stuff. Make it to where it's cheaper for everyone else. I'm cool with Bonfire being $90, but also have like another variant of it where it's like just a super rare or a rare that goes for like maybe $2 to $5, just to help out people. And then that one copy of the ultra rare can still be at $90. Why? Is because it's probably like maybe 1 or 2 in every case. I'm just saying, like, I think that would be a great way to please both sides, because there are people that do like high rarity decks. I mean, just look at Pack. This man's got freaking max rarity every deck. I don't know how the hell he does it, but there's people out there that like that. I have a friend that's addicted to playing nothing but high rarity cards versus the cheap versions of them. So I think that's a good way of doing it to look out for everybody in the community. One thing that I think needs to be done is I think that Konami needs to communicate with us more. That was one thing that one of my friends mentioned to me was, hey, when they make these ban lists, why don't they just tell us why they make these changes? That would help out a lot. Even if it's bad or whatever, that would still like give us some kind of idea where their mind is at, so we can kind of figure out together, like, hey, maybe we can work together or something to shape it out better or something. But they kind of do these things and don't even tell us about why they're doing this or anything like that. We just gotta figure it out ourselves, and it's kind of shitty. But I have been witnessing a lot of people following the same path as Giant Skyhawk here, with flat out quitting the game. I'm seeing a lot of people in groups that I've been in on Facebook and stuff, and they are flat out selling all their collections. I have a few friends right now that are just selling all their stuff. They're not fully quitting, but they're like taking a break because they don't like the direction that the game is going. They don't like how expensive it is. I, for one, think that we are moving into a meta that is going to be highly technical, right? So I do see us being in like one of those formats where it's only going to be 1 to 3 decks. That's personally, that's what I kind of like, and that's what a lot of competitive players do like. The thing is that the vast majority, and I'm willing to admit this, the vast majority of people are casual players, and they don't want to see that. And honestly, I'm at the point where I'm kind of just saying, you know what, maybe we shouldn't go back to the 3 deck format. As much as I like 3 decks or 1 deck or 2 decks, I overall, for the health of the game, I think we should just probably keep it diverse. I'm already seeing so many people, so many friends of mine just like taking a break, and it kind of sucks because I don't want to go to locals and only see like 8 people compared to like the 30 that we normally have and stuff. I don't want to see 8. I want to see 7. That's kind of boring, right? Who wants to play in a tournament like that? I would hate to go to regionals that normally has like 300 people and now only have like 100. Or what about the people that have already like 100-man regionals? Now they're gonna have like what, a 40? Like what 5 rounds, and then that's it. So yeah, I don't know. But that is the drama that is going on in the whole Yu-Gi-Oh community. I'm pretty sure I probably missed some other stuff going on, but that is like the main big things, is basically all this lovely stuff we have here. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a good rest of your week, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.